In this video, I'm going to show several examples of some harder examples of simplifying radicals. Okay, in this first problem, we have the cube root of a fraction, and notice that that fraction is negative. So I'm going to rewrite this as the cube root of the numerator. Now notice there's only one negative sign, and I like to give that negative sign to my numerator. And then I can take the cube root of 216. Now I have that memorized, that 5 cubed is 125, and negative 5 cubed would be negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. So we would get a positive 25 times a negative 5. That's a negative 125. So I can take an odd power of a negative number and end up with a negative answer, which means that I can take an odd power or an odd root of a negative number, and I'm going to end up with a real answer there. So that is negative 5. The cube root of negative 125 is negative 5. Now, on the bottom, I don't have this one memorized. It's even, so I do have 2 cubed memorized. That's 8. 4 cubed is 64, so it's bigger than that. I'm going to just try the next even number, which is 6, and it turns out that 6 cubed, 36 times 6, is in fact 216. Okay, so the answer in the denominator is 6, and that one's done. Okay, in this next problem, I am going to take the square root of, or different types of roots of x to the 7th. Okay, in this first one, I'm looking at a square root. That means what times itself is x to the 7th? Well, there's nothing, right? X squared times x squared, that's just x to the 4th. That's not x to the 7th. X cubed times x cubed is x to the 6th. That's still not big enough. But x to the 4th times x to the 4th, that would be x to the 8th, which is too big. Okay, so it's definitely not a perfect square. X to the 7th is not a perfect square, but we can simplify it nonetheless. Notice that if I take x to the 7th, that's the same thing as x to the 6th times another x, right? We'd have 6 of them here times one more, that would be x to the 7th. Okay, so I'm going to still take the square root of all that. Now, with multiplication and radicals, I can separate that into 2 separate multiplication problems. And x to the square root of x to the 6th is x to the 3rd from right here. So that one is simplifiable. And then square root of x, that's as simplified as it goes. Okay. Now on this next one, I'm looking at cube roots. Okay, and cube roots mean what times itself 3 times, because it's a cube root, is x to the 7th. Well, there again, it's not a perfect cube, because here I would get 2 x's times themselves and 2 more and 2 more, so that would be x to the 6th, but x cubed times x cubed times x cubed, I'd have too many. I'd have already x to the 9th. Okay, so x to the 7th is certainly not a perfect cube. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this, because x to the 6th, we can take the cube root of that. So I'm going to rewrite x to the 7th as x to the 6th times another x. Okay, and now I'm going to take the cube root of that. So I'm going to take the cube root of x to the 6th. And just remember, with roots, that's the same thing as a fractional exponent. So that simplifies down to x squared. Okay, and we can see that from this fact right here as well. X to the 6th is cube rootable, and the cube root of x to the 6th is x squared. Okay, and then the cube root of x, that didn't simplify anymore, so we've still got times cube root of x. All right, moving on to a 4th root. Okay, so the pattern is what times itself 4 times, right? Well, x times itself 4 times is x to the 4th. X squared times itself 4 times would be 2, 4, 6, 8. That's too big, okay? So notice we need to rewrite these. In a square root, I had an exponent that was divisible by 2. With a cube root, I had an exponent that was divisible by 3. It happened to be the same one, but that's what we're looking for, because we could have written that cube root as a 1/3 exponent. So we wanted 6 to be able evenly divided by 3. Now, here I'm looking for a number that we can divide by 4. That's, smaller than 7, okay? And what it's going to be is x to the 4th. But I was started with x to the 7th. I can't change how many x's I have. So I'm going to rewrite that x to the 7th as x to the 4th times x to the 3rd. Okay, I still have the 4th root of all that. Now I can take the 4th root of x to the 4th times the 4th root of x cubed. All right. The 4th root of x to the 4th is 4, and the 4th root of x cubed cannot be simplified. Okay, so again, we're using the fact that a 4th root is a fractional exponent. We multiply those exponents. 4 times 1/4 is 1, and we would just write that as x. Great, okay, now let's look at a 10th root. There's 7 is just too small. There's no way to rewrite that so that we have an exponent that we could divide by 7. So that one is as simplified as it goes, and we're done. Okay, let's try the same process with some numbers. So the square root of 40. I am looking to think about what would divide evenly into 40 that is a perfect square. So I'm thinking back into my perfect squares. Well, 40 is divisible by 4. 9, not so much. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite 40 as 4 times 10. Then I can take the square root of that product. I can take the square root of 4 separately times the square root of 10. All right, the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 10 is as simplified as it goes. So that one's done, 2 square root of 10. Now on this next one, I've got a cube root. So I'm thinking of my perfect cubes. Let's see, 3 cubed is 27, which doesn't divide evenly into 40. 4 cubed is too big. That's 64. Okay, so I'm looking for the biggest perfect cube that will divide evenly into 40. And in this case, it's 8. So I'm going to rewrite 40 as 8 times 5. Okay, then I can take the cube root of those separately. The cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of 5 can't be simplified anymore. So that one now is done. So you're looking for what type of root do I have, and then I need to think about those perfect cubes. If it's a square root, that 2 is not written, it's assumed, and we're looking for perfect square factors of our original radicand.